Welcome to Straight Talk and a special member spotlight edition. Today, we have the privilege to get to know one of our valued member companies of ISSA, Damon Industries. And to do this, I welcome Amy Damon and Scott Butterfield. Welcome to the program, folks.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you. And I look forward to getting to know your company as all our watchers and viewers do as well. But let's start with the basics. Amy, tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your role with the company, and some family history. I believe that this is a family business.
Yes. Yes. It started in about 1938. That's what we call our incorporation year anyway. My father was in college and he was making some products. He made a bleach and a couple of other cleaning products. Most of them were dry products in those days. And he sold those out of his basement, then out of a garage, then out of a bigger garage. And after he got out of school, he eventually got a building, and the company has just grown and grown. So we're in about our fourth or fifth building at this point. What do we have now, Scott? 36,000 square feet?
Actually 65,000.
65,000.
Include the warehouse and production area.
So we have 65,000 square feet now. We manufacture about 100 chemicals. Some of them are very specialty for individual customers, and others are ones that we sell across the board, maybe sell on the internet, and a few we sell internationally. But all of that came over a lot of years of growth. I came into the business in 1967, I think, as a person who wanted to get into the business and was too young, and actually got my father in trouble because of my working in areas I should not have been working in, but I loved working in them. So got a very early start. Then when I graduated from college, I started out on the road as sales, and I did that for a number of years. We make some specialty products for the radiator repair industry, soldering fluxes and cleaners that strip the paint off of radiators. And so I got sent out to Chicago and Brooklyn and all kinds of fun places to go. And in those days with no GPS, you had to be really good at finding your way to some of those. Had a lot of fun. We developed some new products based on the needs that the customers had. And so I did that for a number of years. Then we developed a line of boiler chemicals and cooling tower chemicals. And so I went out and pushed that and developed a service department to support that. And then my father died in 1989, and I became president of the company and was president until Scott took over here about, 4 years ago? Something like that. And I guess that's a pretty good history.
I want to know what you did to get in trouble, though. What areas were you working in?
Well, I was working around a forklift, which I
Oh,
guess was the big problem. But of course, there were all kinds of chemicals and things around that, today OSHA would have a lot of trouble with, probably.
I hope they don't watch this episode and go back and do anything about your infraction, but they probably won't.
Now, I think it's far enough back, we're safe.
Agreed. So Scott, so Amy, you're the CEO. Scott, you're the president. Scott, how did you come to the company? Talk about your journey a little bit.
I came from the food industry, grocery distribution with Fleming Foods. And there was actually a relationship between Damon Industries and Fleming where we had 2,500 grocery stores that we serviced. And Damon used to come in and work with our staff there to kind of bring us up to speed on what they needed, anything from floor cleaning to waxes to making sure all the departments had the right kind of cleaners in them, sanitizers and what. And there was an opportunity at that point, which was hard to get into Damon Industries because they are the Cadillac of the industry. And the former vice president of the company. He kept making some calls, and one day my wife said, you need to go talk to this guy because I'm getting tired of him calling the house. And I've been here 28 years, I believe. Started out with the retail grocery division. We did a lot of food safety at that time, and have just kind of done the evolution of being in sales everywhere from Michigan to West Virginia, PA. And for me, it was just kind of the evolving of opportunities at Damon. And it's been a great ride for the last 28 years.
Sure has. Sure has.
Yeah, and you're the holder of the right statistics about the size of the buildings.
For lack of a better term, I'm the bean counter, and I enjoy numbers. So for me, it's something I enjoy doing here. That's for sure.
Thank you for sharing that information. What a great company. And Amy, you mentioned the year it started, but when was the first time your father got into this? Maybe did he start very small before the company was really formed?
Oh yeah, he was working out of his basement, and I imagine he had a couple of grocery stores that he made retail products in those days rather than what we would call Jansan products, commercial products. So started very, very small.
Mm-hmm. So you're proud of what you have, what you've built, and Amy, your family did this. Scott, you're now part of the team. What makes your company unique or different in the industry? What would you tell people that have that question in their mind?
Well, from my point of view, it's always been the service part. I mean, it's unique that we manufacture chemicals, but back in the early days, there were a number of other small companies like us. And it was service. You get a product and it's 100% guarantee. If you're not happy, we'll take it back. And very rare that ever happened, but that was our guarantee and we stood behind it. But we would always provide all of the follow-up service that you needed, the training, safety material data sheet, booklets, all of the information and things you would need to comply with your regulations. So it was a value-added proposition.
You're telling me part of your secret to success is how you treat your customers.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone says they do that, but we don't know. We don't see it though, do we? But you're doing it.
No.
Yes, because all of our competitors will tell the same story we tell, but I don't think if you talk to those people that you'll find that very many of our competitors follow through. And that's, I always tell my salespeople, I'll give you the 3 secrets to success. Follow up, and follow up.
Not complicated at all.
Yeah, there are some companies you just can't get a hold of, and it's become accepted in the world that we live in. But thank you for being a refreshing, old-fashioned, take care of customers type of company. Scott, that must have been part of what you liked about coming on board.
Absolutely. Still to this day, you have a dual-edged sword where we're proud of how we take care of the customers, but we're so blessed with the staff that we've had for over all these years. We just bumped into a gentleman that he's 94, and without Val Winters, we'd be in trouble because that man was here from the time they made the blocks in this building.
Oh, yeah.
And what a wonderful person. But we've always been blessed with such an amazing staff of people. And Amy and I talk about it all the time. You can have, and our chemicals are wonderful, but our salespeople and our staff inside this building, they're what make it go round.
How big is your team?
We're at 37 employees complete. That's service people on the road. That's 10 salespeople. A lot of people inside. Our service department is second to none. We're extraordinarily proud of them.
All right. When you think about doing this for so many years, what's the favorite part of this for you? Amy, what do you think?
It's the customer interaction.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I love going to trade shows and meeting customers.
Let's talk about strategies to succeed. Now, you talk about your customers, taking care of them. What else have you done over the years to be competitive in the market?
Well, a lot of
it's an evolving market. I mean, when you go back 2 years ago, a scrubber machine was like a boat anchor. It weighed about 350 pounds of raw metal, and now they're robotic. And our customers' needs have changed. And everything is a different type of floor setting. And it's one of the best things that we get to do is actually go out and work with the customer and show them the new technologies, whether that's in the chemistry we have or in the actual machines that they use. So it's always going to be an evolution. And that's one of the best things about working at Damon is the fact that we're not afraid to learn, and we're not afraid to go out and tell people, hey, this is what's going on. This is what you need to have.
What I'm hearing is you didn't spend millions of dollars on marketing campaigns and ads and on TV and radio.
No, we didn't. It's all going out to see the customer. Back when OSHA first created the HAZCOM legislation or created the rules for it, we went out and took it as a positive. Everybody was looking at the negative, and we turned it into a training opportunity that we can come in and we'll do this for you and get you up to speed and make sure that you're in compliance if someone comes and visits you. And, that was a great thing. I think today a lot of people do that, but it was quite innovative in about 1984 when HAZCOM came out.
Being in business for so long, you had to have your bumps in the road. What are some of the challenges you can think back on that you're happy you got through them, but that were a struggle at times? Anything come to mind?
Well, we used to be very big in fast food business, and we had an awful lot of eggs in a couple baskets with two big retail chains. And when a very large company with a couple of initials took all that business away from us because they decided they needed that worse than we did, we took some hits because we lost an awful lot of income, had to downsize and pull in. We had a couple years with some big losses, but we pulled through that, and we're here challenging ahead today.
Now, Scott, you've worked at other companies. So when you think about what my question, the challenges, were they similar to what you've seen before? Anything special about what Damon's been through?
I think there is the specialness coming from a company with the magnitude of Fleming Foods. There are 60,000 employees. And when you look at what happens with a family-owned and operated company, everybody has to care. The customer's needs are first and the priority one here. And the fact that we have been able to kind of evolve, you see people here that can put on a hat in so many different directions, whether they're on an order desk, whether they're back helping label, it doesn't matter to people. It's all about taking care of the customer. So that was one of the things that has always made me proud where I'm at, because I get to go to work with my family. These guys are like family to me, morning, noon, and night. You can pick up a phone at 8 o'clock at night and they're going to say, what you need.
Yep.
That's refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I tell you what, let's talk about your people a little bit more, because you brought that up a few times. The phone calls you make that, and they answer and respond. You said 37 employees, Scott?
Yep.
Okay. I imagine your turnover rate is low.
Very low.
Very low.
Very, very proud of the longevity. I mean, we
Yeah.
have 50-year employees. We have a number of 40-year employees, a number of 30-year employees. And we had a group of them that have retired with 43 years, with 47 years. So we don't do well with turn. When you're part of the family, you're part of the family for life.
So when we hear and read and in the news and everywhere that it's hard to find good people, that there's a shortage of good workers, you're just not feeling that.
Well, we do and we don't. It used to be people came to us constantly, somebody told me this is a great place to work. I want to work here. And they would, come in and really sell us on working here. And now it's more what can you give us? It's what they want, and to work 3 days a week and and get paid the same amount. But when we get people, my joke is always that, if they last to the fourth day, they're here forever. And that seems to be pretty much the way it is. People show up and then they just don't come back. You know,
Day 4 is the key.
I think so.
Seems to be.
That's funny. Lock them up until day 4 comes. Yeah.
There you go.
No, it's nice to hear. Good for you guys for what you've done. Let's talk about ISSA a little bit and our relationship there. What have you found to be beneficial to Damon Industries from your trade association?
It's absolutely essential that we have your regulatory support. I always look to your regulatory newsletter to get information and know what's coming down the pike. Like right now, there's a few changes to HASCOM that we're taking a look at.
Let's talk about the future. We talked about your history, your past, and it's great to get to know your company. What's the future look like for you? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about the fact that there's so much new technology, and as a small company, it's a struggle for us to keep up with it and finding the right service providers. But we're exploring some new avenues of marketing. We've always been just a salesperson on the street and giving the service after the sale, which you can't do too well through the internet. But how do we look at the internet and how can we compete on the internet? And we aren't sure of the answer to that yet, but we're trying to do some research, and we're going to do some experiments here shortly to see what we can do with the internet.
That's a refreshing, honest answer because if we don't know all the details, we figure it out, don't we? I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
that's right.
point. Mhm.
Mhm.
Scott, we're going to close with this question. You can start us off and then we'll go to Amy. But do you have any business or operational advice you would offer our membership, other companies trying to succeed, things you would tell them they should do? And I think I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I'm going back to people. It's, technologies are absolutely in the forefront, but if you still do not have a team of people around you that are family, you're in trouble. And if you can look and let them, one of the things that Amy Damon and her father before, we empower people. They do so many things. The staff will look at me and go, hey, Wednesday's Weenie Wednesday. Or, hey, we're going to have an ice cream truck come in such and such day. You have to let your people kind of help you get to where you need to be. You can't manipulate, you cannot push, you cannot browbeat. These are a different breed. And if you're going to look into the future, you have to embrace them and realize that they are the future, and take your blinders off because they're going to teach you something every day of the week.
Love it. And Amy, you get the final word. This is your company, your family's history. What would you tell others who are like, Amy, what can we do with our company?
Well, I just said to Scott the other day that I probably will not retire and I will not let myself die until I see that this company has a future with new owners or whoever that will continue all of these things that the family has built the business around. And it is very much people, both your customers and your people that work for you.